So India is taking on what might be one of the most ambitious tech projects on the planet right now. They're building their very own artificial intelligence from scratch. We're talking a massive, national-scale effort to create an AI that actually gets the unique pulse of its 1.4 billion people. This is a huge deal, so let's dive right in.
But that immediately begs the question, right? Why go through all this trouble? I mean, why build a custom-made AI for an entire country when there are already these incredibly powerful models out there? Well, the answer really comes down to the sheer scale and, frankly, the beautiful complexity of India itself. You're looking at a nation with hundreds of languages and just so many deeply nuanced cultural contexts.
And this really brings us to the core of India's AI dilemma. See, this is a challenge that goes way beyond just the tech itself. It's really about pushing back against what some might call a kind of digital colonization. It's about making sure the nation's future isn't just defined and controlled by innovation coming from the outside. Ultimately, this is all about achieving true digital sovereignty.
Okay, take a look at this, because it lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got these global AI models. And don't get me wrong, they're brilliant, but they're almost entirely trained on Western data, Western culture. They don't get the incredible linguistic and cultural diversity of India. Then, on the other side, you have what India actually needs, an AI that can flip between languages without breaking a sweat and really understand local contexts, to help run crucial public services.
And that, right there, is where the first huge piece of this puzzle clicks into place. It's called BharatGPT, a homegrown large language model that's being designed to be, well, truly Indian, right down to its core.
So it's super important to understand what BharatGPT, or as it's evolving, the Bharat Gen initiative, actually is. This isn't just some project from a single company. No way. This is a massive collaborative effort to build AI models that are specifically trained on Indian data for Indian languages to solve Indian problems. It's that simple.
And this chart, it shows you just how big that collaboration really is. You've got the government stepping in with the funding and setting the rules. You have the top-tier academic institutions like the IITs doing the heavy lifting on the research side. And then you have major industry players, think Reliance Jio and others, bringing the muscle to actually scale this thing across the entire country. It's a classic, massive public-private partnership.
So what's the game plan here? Well, the objectives are crystal clear. Number 1, nail the languages, all of them. Number 2, focus on use cases that actually help people. We're talking health, education, the real stuff. Number 3, stop depending on foreign AI. And finally, number 4, build an open source, collaborative ecosystem where basically everyone can chip in and everyone can benefit.
Okay, but here's the thing. A powerful AI model is kind of like a Ferrari engine. It's amazing, but without the car, the wheels, the whole chassis, it's not going anywhere. That's why this plan expands into something way bigger. The IndiaAI Mission.
And if you ever doubted how serious they are about this, just look at the money. The government has put a massive budget behind this. This isn't just some side experiment. This is a huge foundational investment to build an entire national AI ecosystem, literally from the ground up. The whole strategy really rests on 4 main pillars. First up, the India AI Compute pillar. That's all about providing the raw computing horsepower that startups and researchers desperately need. Second, India AI datasets. They're creating a giant, high-quality library of Indian data called the Bharat Data Sagar. Third, future skills, a massive push to train millions of people in AI. And fourth, innovation and safety, which is all about funding new ideas while making sure it's all done in a safe, trustworthy way.
Now, that last pillar, safety and trust, is absolutely crucial. Think about it. You can't just unleash a national-scale AI without a rulebook. So India is writing one from scratch, trying to find that perfect balance between moving fast and breaking things and, protecting its citizens.
And right at the heart of that new rulebook is the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, or the DPDP Act. This thing is the legal backbone for the entire mission. It sets the ground rules for how personal data can be collected and used, especially for training these AI models. It's all about making sure user consent and data security are baked in from day one.
All right, so we've got the AI model, we've got the massive infrastructure, and we've got the rulebook. But what does all this actually mean for people on the ground? Well, like any technology this powerful, it's a double-edged sword. There's incredible promise, but also some pretty significant peril.
Let's start with the promise, because honestly, it's breathtaking. Just imagine, personalized tutors teaching kids in their own regional language, medical advice that can reach the most remote villages, or a farmer getting real-time advice on their crops in their own dialect. This technology could literally transform public services and open up doors for millions of people.
But then you flip the coin. The risks are just as real. How do you possibly protect data privacy at this scale? What happens when these models start hallucinating and spreading misinformation that impacts public trust? How do you stop the algorithms from just making existing societal biases even worse? And, of course, the big one. What does this do to jobs? These are really tough questions that have to be answered.
You know, when you strip away all the details, the models, the funding, the regulations, this entire mission really boils down to one single core ambition. The end goal here is technological sovereignty. It's about India's ability to control its own digital destiny in the age of AI. Period.
Which leaves us with one last massive question. The path I've chosen is incredibly ambitious, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So, can India actually pull this off? Can it build its own AI future for its own people without repeating the same mistakes the rest of the world has already made? The answer to that? Well, it's going to shape the future of an entire nation.